Apple just released the new iPhone 16 and the iPhone 16 Pro. And yeah, while all the hype is around these new phones, it's also important to remember that these aren't the only iPhones in the lineup, and Apple has decided to drop the price of older iPhones in this lineup. Like last year's iPhone 15, it's just now $699, while the iPhone 14 is now at $599, and the iPhone SE, well, it's still hanging in there with that really old design at $429. Now, it doesn't matter which iPhone you're picking up, you need to upgrade your charging setup, and my little buddy from Ugen can help you out with that. This is the Ugen Uno Charger 100 watt, and I'm pretty confident saying that this is the cutest charger ever that even has a face on it that lets you know when it's charging or on standby mode. But don't let its cute looks fool you. It's also super powerful with 100 watts of charging and 3 USB-C ports and 1 USB-A port in a really compact design, so it can charge your entire Apple ecosystem and fast charge your iPhone and your MacBook. I can't believe they made a 4-in-1 charger this cute and this small. And there's also another robotic buddy in the lineup with Ugen's Uno 2-in-1 magnetic wireless charger, which can charge your iPhone magnetically with Qi 2 15-watt fast charging, and this charger also pops up so you can get another wireless charging compartment to charge your AirPods. It's such a cute and clever design, and there's even a USB-C port on the side so you can charge a third device. To pick up either of these fast and fun charging accessories for your new iPhone, check out the link in the description, and thank you to Ugen for sponsoring this video. All right, let's address the elephant in the room. What new do you exactly get with the iPhone 16 over the iPhone 15? Because if you look at both phones at first glance, they look very similar. They still come in pretty much the same design with a 6.1 and 6.7 inch size. They both have the dynamic island, and they even have the same exact display specs. That means there is no visual improvement on the iPhone 16 over the 15. They have the same brightness rating, the same contrast ratio, the same resolution, and even the same 60 Hz refresh rate on the display. The iPhone 16 doesn't even include an always-on display this year. However, despite looking similar and the design being mostly the same, there are some noticeable differences on the 16 if you look close enough. First of all, Apple is getting rid of the mute switch on the 16 in favor of an action button, which can be mapped to quick actions like activating the flashlight or voice memos or whatever custom command you want. There's also a brand new camera button, which can quickly open the camera app and take photos, and also gives you some really convenient controls like zooming in and out, changing the exposure, or even accessing depth controls, all within this cool little menu that pops up right from the capture button. It's actually a really ingenious design. The iPhone 16 also gets what I think are some really nice new colors. It gets aquamarine, teal, and pink. I think they look so much better than the muted colors that were on the 15 lineup, although that is just a minor detail. Color preference really, I mean, maybe it'll decide what phone you pick. And while they do both have the same dual camera system, this time on the iPhone 16, it is in a new vertical arrangement that does give a nice design distinction over the 15, and it also lets users now shoot spatial video. But in terms of the camera specs, they are very similar. The main camera sensor on both models appear to be kind of identical. They're both a 48 megapixel camera sensor that can take high resolution photos at either 24 megapixels or 48 megapixels using the optional HEIF Max mode. However, the 16 still does not get access to extra camera formats like ProRAW or ProRes video that is offered on the Pro models. On the main camera though, photos will probably look identical whether they're taken on the iPhone 15 or the iPhone 16, so one of the biggest reasons why people might upgrade to this phone this year for a better main camera system isn't there. Now, that doesn't mean there aren't camera improvements. This year, the ultra-wide-angle camera gets a noticeable improvement over the 15 because it now has autofocus and has a new macro mode so you can get super close-up detailed shots. And this was a feature that used to be exclusive to the Pro iPhone models, but it has finally made its way down the lineup to the normal iPhone 16. Another small change is that even though both iPhones have the same 2.0 USB-C speed charging port, the iPhone 16 can now charge faster than the 15. It now supports charging speeds up to 45 watts, and it can now also charge with the MagSafe wireless charger at 25 watts, which is actually a huge improvement to the wireless charging speed. But okay, sure, there's some nice little improvements to the 16 over the 15, but I don't know if they really necessarily warrant the extra $100 price tag over the 15 for most users. But this next part changes my mind about what phone you should get, and that is the chip. When Apple shipped the iPhone 15, they gave it an older A16 chip, while the 15 Pro got an A17 Pro chip. So already it was one chip generation behind where it should have been. And now with the iPhone 16, they fixed that. The iPhone 16 gets a 2-generation chip jump over the 15 with an A18 chip. And on paper, it is a huge jump in performance. It's up to 30% faster in CPU performance than the 15, and even more important, it has a massive 40% faster GPU. This now lets the normal iPhone 16 play more intensive AAA level games that were only available on the Pro models last year. So if you're into iPhone gaming, this is a necessary upgrade. And it even gets more memory, going up from 6 gigabytes of memory to 8 gigabytes of memory. And that matches the Pro models. However, that is not even the biggest reason why the A18 chip is such a massive upgrade over the A16. In fact, the real reason to care about this chip upgrade isn't for performance, because for most people, the iPhone 15 and the 16 are probably going to feel pretty much exactly the same in terms of their responsiveness and their performance for normal day-to-day tasks. No, the real reason to care about this chip upgrade is Apple Intelligence. Yes, if you watch the iPhone event, you notice that half of the iPhone presentation was spent talking about all of the new Apple Intelligence features. These AI features include fun things like generating images or custom emojis, and easy photo editing tools to remove subjects, or new AI writing tools that can proofread or even change the structure of your writing to be more friendlier, more professional, or more concise. You can also get system-level features like priority notifications or AI summaries in mail and messages, not to mention that Siri is getting a huge upgrade that will make it much more intelligent, able to understand personal context, and able to answer even more of your questions. And there's even like a new visual lookup tool with the iPhone's camera system. There's a lot of powerful features baked into Apple Intelligence. Now, yes, these features won't roll out exactly the same launch date as the iPhone 16, and I have criticized Apple for that messy rollout of these features in a previous video, but listen, we just went over a huge list of features that will eventually be on the iPhone 16, but they will not be on the iPhone 15. They will not be on the iPhone 14. They will not be on the iPhone SE. They will not be on any older iPhone models. And that is just this year, my friends. Think about it. If Apple spent so much time focusing on all of these advanced features that they made with Apple Intelligence in mind, what will future software updates look like for iOS 19 or for iOS 20 or for iOS 21? Okay, eventually they're gonna have to change the naming scheme of iOS. We're gonna get to iOS 100 one day. How many features are going to be left out on older models because they don't have the hardware capable to run these advanced AI features? We're gonna see more of this stuff. We are going to see more AI features and more features left out on older iPhones than any time in history. Think about the long term. It is very likely that these phones are going to age more poorly than in past years. And while Apple historically has been very good about supporting older iPhone models with lots of new software features, due to the rise of Apple Intelligence and AI in general requiring more powerful hardware, I think these phones are going to be obsolete a lot faster than usual and miss out on so many new features in the coming years. So a $100 savings or a $200 savings, a $300 savings on these phones just isn't worth it. It's why this year, I can't recommend buying an older iPhone model. And in fact, I'll be blunt, do not buy an iPhone 15 or older at this point, especially if you plan to keep this phone for multiple years like most smartphone buyers do. The iPhone 16 is just gonna age much better than an iPhone 15. And to buy an older phone at this point, you're either not educated on this matter, you just watch this video so you are educated on it, or you're ignoring my advice. And you know what that makes you? It makes you a fool. Or, I don't know, maybe you just disagree with me. But that is my take on the iPhone 16 versus the iPhone 15 models, and my take on the entire iPhone lineup this year. I really hope this video helped you out in making an informed purchasing decision. If it did, leave me a like. If you want to see my full review and my takes on Apple Intelligence and the iPhone 16, well, make sure you subscribe to the channel for the full iPhone 16 review, and I'll see you all in the next one. Take care, everyone.